Welcome back, everybody. Today's episode, we're working on this amazing, no, I'm just kidding, on this 2017 Ford Focus. Now, these newer Focuses from, I think, 2015 and up, all have had the same freaking issues. Transmission. Nobody wants to fix them because they're a pain in the butt, but they're actually a lot easier than you think. So today the customer brought this one in. This is a dealership. The customer brought this in and said that the tranny was acting up. It would not want to go in and out of gear and felt like it was slipping. They suggested putting in a new tranny, but with all of the ones that I have done, putting a tranny in it really doesn't help. I mean, yeah, granted, it will because you're changing the parts that need to be changed, but the parts that need to be changed are serviceable. So, ran a code scan on it after I drove it down here, or attempted to drive it down here, because it kind of caught and jumped and everything else. So, on these newer ones, they bring up codes such as this right here. P07A3, P07A4, P2701. Transmission friction elements. AB, stuck on, performance, things like that. So, biggest thing that I've ran into is this has what they call a dual mass clutch. And that means that there are two friction plates in there. One for your high range, one for your low range. And depending on the torque that you're adding to it, depends on how much that needs to kick in. So 9 times out of 10, the fingers that move in and out on those clutches that push up on the engagement fingers go bad. They get stuck, they get buildup, all kinds of stuff. And the other thing that goes bad on these are the actuators that go on the sides of the tranny. I will get you a view of that real quick. That way you can see what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second, I'll get this hood open, we'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so that little thing right there on top of the tranny, this right here, it's got 4 Torx head bolts and 1 clip. That is your friction element solenoid, actuator, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it'd be an actuator because a solenoid is magnetic driven and blah 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 blah, all that fancy stuff. Anyways, back to the subject at hand. This right here is friction element A. Friction element B is down on the bottom on the side here. They're both really easy to get off and replace without having to tear a bunch of stuff apart. So that is usually where we start. First thing we do when we start is we go through the relearn procedure on the scanner here. And give me 1 second. Okay, so it might be hard for some people to see, but I'm in the transmission menu. This is a Modus Ultra snap-on, obviously. You can see that, you have eyes. Mainly because you're watching this video. But in here you will have your codes menu, data display, and functional tests. You'll go into functional tests on the transmission, and you're going to go down to transmission adaptive learning, which if you have another scanner, it might be different on other scanners, but you're going to look for, basically you're going to relearn the transmission. You're going to reteach the transmission how it needs to function. So click yes, ignition's on. So we will go to clutch. Yes. Ignition's on. Make sure that the transmission gear selector is in park. Obviously, you don't want to go flying through the wall. Press and hold the brake pedal. Now we have to wait. Do 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 do. Ah, fuck it. Okay, so it's going through resetting the adaptive values. It's doing tests on them as well. You can hear them. Those are the actuators going in and out and releasing the fingers. Okay, so we have to start it or crank for 5 seconds. It says do not touch the throttle pedal. Okay, started. Okay, make sure it's in park. And then you're going to hold the accelerator to wide open throttle with your foot on the brake. Foot on brake, foot on gas. You're going to power brake it basically, wide open throttle. Okay. You hear the idle drop down each time it catches and relearns that point. Okay. When it comes back down from back down to idle, you're gonna press OK. It says blah 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 blah, bunch of BS. Just keep holding the brake pedal. Press and hold the brake pedal. Continue pressing and holding the brake pedal. Basically, when you do these tests, no matter what, you want to hold your foot on the brake pedal the entire time. Because you never know what it's going to do. Unless you want to sit there and read the entire time. Which, I've done this so many times that I already know what needs to be done. But when doing these tests, you need to be... Oh, God. You need to make sure that you hold on to the brake pedal. Like, keep it pressed down. And there we go. Now it's gear switch on shift A, touch point learn for shift A, or shaft A. It's touching its shaft. So you get through that, and then I guess it's going to touch shaft B. Oh, and then there you go. Clutch touch point learn unsuccessful. So that right there tells me that the and then we got to let it power down. The TCM has to power down. So you have to sit here and wait for 40 seconds. But anyways, that right there tells me that if it did not pass those on that initial test, that 9 times out of 10, the clutch fingers are not returning to where they need to, or the actuators are bad, which whenever that happens, and we usually end up doing this no matter what, because these things are known for it, is we will go in, we will pull the transmission out, and redo the entire inside of the clutch area on the basically it's the torque converter that you're replacing. But since this has a dual mass clutch style torque converter, then we go in and replace that, and they're really easy. So maybe I can do another video on that, but basically, if you're having issues like that, it says transmission fault, and you're getting some jerking, or it's not kicking in, things like that, which these are horrible for it, then 9 times out of 10, it's either going to be your actuators, or I have ran into a couple times where it's been the control module on the side of the transmission, which is your shift fork actuators as well. And they'll pop up codes on those, which if you do run into that to where you have to replace that, make sure that you have every number on that module right, because if not, then it's not going to sync and you're not going anywhere. So back to what I was talking about before. I just want to throw stuff in there so you guys understand. Before, generally we'll go through and do all the tests like I just showed you, and if that's the case, then we've got some actuators laying around. I'll throw some actuators in it just to test, and if it still does it, then generally we will pull the transmission out and go through the process of replacing the dual mass clutch, along with the new actuators, along with the new slides, I mean everything. And it almost every single time fixes the problem. We have had a couple where it's been either a wiring issue or the parts we got were bad, you know, general things that almost everybody deals with. Anyways, I'm rambling on. But this is going to be the biggest thing here with these Ford Focuses, and any of them that have a dual mass clutch, you're going to end up with all kinds of stuff. So another thing I want to point out is you can test those clutches. Let's see, let me find my tool, because I've got one around here that I made thanks to another guy who made a video about this also, and actually made it very easy. So this right here this piece is out of those actuators. This is the piece that actually turns the dual mass clutch fingers, the engagement fingers. I took it and welded it to a socket, which it is a pain to get these things apart, but if you get them apart, they're awesome. They do make a kit for doing all of this, which has all the releasers and installers and ticklers and pointers and everything. But you can take this, you can stick it in there, and you do 12 revolutions counterclockwise. Or no, clockwise, yeah. 12 revolutions clockwise, and then you pop it out, and it should release all the way back. If it doesn't, that means that the fingers are stuck, or there's gunk buildup in them. You can do that on both clutch A and clutch B. But that's what this is for. Then also, when you have, sorry, my shop's a mess. We've been nonstop. If you have an issue with the shift points, the shift forks not moving, you can test those as well. And I've actually wrote those down so you can see. So Ford Trans testing shift forks. The top one will be 6.5 turns. The bottom one will be 4.5 turns. If they turn more than that clockwise, and you feel a pop or a release to where it keeps going, then you have to replace the entire transmission, because that means that case inside there is broken. So it happens a lot. There's quite a few mechanics out there that have put videos out about it. I'm just trying to cover my butt and try and help some people out, because I know that the more information everybody has, the easier it is to be able to do your job. So, but that's pretty much it for this one. I'm gonna have to go up and order a rebuild kit for the clutches and or for the dual mass torque converter clutch junk, new actuators, all that stuff, everything. And oh, one thing is these things have gone bad so much since they started making them that these things are so far behind on back order that we ordered a set, what was it, 3 months ago, and we just got it last week. So if you guys are going to do this, you need to explain to your customers, you know, hey, I'm sorry, but it is going to take a little bit to get one, unless by some chance, you know, you have a local dealer around you that actually has one in stock. And if you do, let me know, because we do at least 6 of these every 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't pay attention to those, but I know we do a lot of these. So, but anyways, I appreciate everybody watching this video. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button on the bottom, and I'm going to probably make another video on pulling the tranny and doing the whole kit inside here. But of course it's going to be a while because I can't get one yet, but that'll be another video for the future. So that's about it. So like I said, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.